that vagina is clean. They are so freaking silly. Hey, it's your girl KV back with another review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, this is season 17, episode 20, the finale for the review for the season. Okay, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. A lot of people have a lot of opinions. There was a lot of yelling over each other. There was a lot of yelling over each other, and it made it hard to kind of decipher what's going on, to take notes and stuff. Y'all, this is me looking at this pink hair in my head. It's so funny. I let my baby get a little row of pink braids, so she said I had to get some pink too. And so I mixed me some pink 1B and 350, and that's what I got going on. And then rest in peace, Dolly Parton. When I found out Dolly Parton died, I started putting me some little pink, some extra hair in there, because I gotta practice crocheting too. So don't mind me here, okay? It is for the love of my 5-year-old. So yes, y'all, this reunion was crazy. We start off with K. Michelle's package being shown, and they cracked me up because when they introduced it, they was like, oh, I ain't got nobody's earrings on. Jesus. When they introduced the package, they were like, it's left everyone saying, who said that? And then Portia slapping 5 and stuff. I'm like, baby, if y'all keep saying that this is not Portia's show, you're delusional. This is Portia's show. Portia is the new Nene. She made Nas proud. I hope I made Nas proud. She made Nene proud, okay? Every time she gets, she's like, Queen Nene, Queen Nene. When it's like, interviews or this, that, and the third, it cracks me up. But this is Portia's land. It is, okay? So, K. Michelle's plotting package. Y'all over here plotting on people, and it's not right. Who's plotting? Okay? She admits to being paranoid. She admits to doing the most online. Let's go forth with a fresh start next season, okay? She was overreacting, trying to get ahead of what she felt like people was doing to her. She wishes she would have done it differently, and says that she was an emotional confessional gangster, okay? The thing with K. Michelle that she will never say is Shamea was a part of being in her ear. Go back and watch this season from the beginning, knowing everything that we know now, and look at how nervous Shamea gets every time K. Michelle is having a breakdown. Look at the table. Look at who's plotting, okay? And Shamea is like, she's looking at K. Michelle like, I know the fuck you ain't gonna. I know. Go back and look at all these instances of Shamea denying that she's a part of this, and K. Michelle just being like, I never said that. I never said it wasn't either, but I never said that. You know what I mean? She was a part of the people being in her ear. Clearly, it was Jason Lee to start with. And when she told Shamea what Jason Lee said, Shamea was like, you know that's the type of girls they are. Now, was she wrong if she did it? No. But let K. Michelle experience that on her own. If she already paranoid and she already on 10, combative and all that, let her figure that out. You ain't got to do a pile on, okay? So they talk about the whole black plot, and Portia asks if production asked K. Michelle if she knew black before K. Michelle ever mentioned black. I said, come on, producer P, because that's the questions that we need to know. Because the way production set it up, we see Drew come in the party. Well, Drew in the party with the phone. K. Michelle said, hey, how you doing? It's so good to see you. And it's given from there. They asked her about black, possibly, you know what I mean? And not after K. Michelle mentioned black. So who knows, child? Who knows? But she only knows him socially. She said, they didn't play together, and he's a fan, so he would be at some of her concerts, and he would, reach out to her. She'd be like, thank you, handsome. Thank you, handsome. How you doing? Just, being polite, because this your fan and it's somebody that you cross socially, but you don't know him like that. Absolutely fair. I believe her. It's just the fact that you walked up to that phone real familiar. And that's all we saying is, if it was just, oh, okay, hey, you, oh, black with such, if you ain't know him like that, you would have said his act. That's when I don't know people. When it's my first time really seeing you outside of your account. Oh, you at such and such 67. Hey, good to see you in semi-person. I didn't know you knew her. Okay. You gonna come around in real life? All right, we're gonna see each other in real life again. You know, like, she just seemed real familiar. Like, that was her homeboy. Okay. Drew is like, you're married. I would never put him on you. And I'm like, yeah, she didn't. She never said that was your boo, that was your bae. And why would she if that's her bae? She don't want to put no bodies on her man. That don't make no sense. She says that, K. Michelle says that she was trying to get ahead of it again. Drew said, don't do that no more. And Kay just giggles and said, okay. I love it. Take your on the chin and keep it pushing. Because you were doing a lot, Kay. We love you, but just reel it in. Just reel it in. The oysters come in. She says that it wasn't the people on her sofa that told her that they was going to be plotting on her. Oh, they didn't tell her. They may have tried to confirm it, but they didn't tell her, okay? K. Michelle says it was an outsider feeding her information, Jason Lee. They get to guessing, and Pinky's like, not this game of charades. I said, right? Angela hops in, and she's just like, I know, K. Michelle look crazy right now. K. Michelle, I said, I look crazy as hell. Yeah, but I am her, and she is me, because last season, I kept trying to fit a square into a round hole. Like, girl, I wasn't making it work. Nobody's really holding it against K. Michelle, because you can see that Team Portia is looking like this is all Shamia's doing. Shamia grabbed a hold of K. Michelle and tried to turn her against Portia. So we're going to, coax K. Michelle right on over here with us. Shamia kind of set it up for them to perfectly snatch her up, because you've made her uncomfortable. You've made her question your motives. So them still being open to K. Michelle and wanting to get to know her, I feel like Portia is genuine. She ain't got no reason to not like K. Michelle. Being around K. Michelle for Portia, she can learn from K. Michelle. Okay, K. Michelle really does music. K. Michelle really has, some things that Portia could learn vocally. Vocally, if Portia ever wants to pursue music again, who knows, girl? The sky's the limit, child. So they do be having fun together. So I don't think this was fake or some type of alliance. Hell, even with this reunion, they yelling at each other, calling each other B words, straight up cussing each other out through giggles and smiles. But you a bitch, girl. You a bitch. Oh no. It's like y'all enjoy whatever type of relationship y'all have. Whether it be frenemies, sparring partners, y'all like it. Y'all like to fight. It's fun. Don't either one of y'all really go too low. Y'all just keep it cute. Little light shade, little light fight, light fun. The things we miss. The things we miss. That's why I'm excited for K. Michelle to come back. K. Michelle and Drew also make nice about it all. No point in staying all mad and pent up, okay? Kelli, do you ever feel like you're the rebound best friend since Shamia and Portia broke up? No, I don't feel like I'm the rebound, because I can really call on Shamia and I can count on her. Kelli, if you think frickin' frack are so whack, why did you use Park's law offices? I cracked up. Because inquiring minds want to know. She claims that she didn't ask Phaedra for her services. Phaedra offered them. Then she starts discrediting Phaedra and all that she did for her, okay? She starts telling everybody it wasn't like it was that much work, okay? And I did pay her. I gave her $10,000. Phaedra said the billable hours were well over 60. well over 60. It's not like you had to do that much work anyway, says Kelli, because she gave her old lawyer $250,000. So Phaedra just picked up where the old lawyer left off and used all that information. Phaedra said, absolutely not. And I was like, exactly. Why would she? Why would she? Kelli don't be making no sense, and she's rude as hell, because her trying to come at Phaedra like Phaedra ain't do nothing for her. When Phaedra won the case for you to be able to film with your children, and this is how you talking to her and discrediting the work that she did for you, that was heavily discounted. Ingrates. Let's talk about Drew in the video going up to the restaurant and filming that it was closed because she's a loser. Kelli made me laugh with that. She's a loser. Drew was like, girl, I was going there to support you, but I couldn't. And she brings up that she ain't got no beef with Kelli. Kelli started with her back at the Balmain event where she was swearing that Drew ain't buy nothing, and because it was a fundraiser, right? But my thing is, even if Drew didn't buy nothing, Drew was going through a divorce. Her being on TV buying a $2,000 blazer for the sake of optics when she got to go into court in a couple of weeks and that's on the thing, girl, leave her alone. It just made no sense for her to expect Drew to do that. Like, this one little purchase could be messing up whatever she had going on. If she was asking for child support, if she was asking for spousal support, but she gonna go in here and drop thousands of dollars at Balmain. It never made sense to me why Kelli picked that up for beef, child. Just ridiculous. So they start getting on Kelli head because she's ridiculous and she's annoying, and she's like, Portia. Kelli's voice makes me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. Kelli's voice is so theatrical, and that's why she makes me laugh, but I don't take her serious at the same time. Portia, get your naked models, please. I'm over there, please. Portia said, oh, they're doing just fine. They're handling business. I said, ooh. She said, they ain't got no bankruptcy. So these Go Naked models, we're bringing in money. We ain't got to close down no shops and stuff, okay? I was cracking up. Oh, Kelli. She calls Angela a golden retriever. Angela says, you got no teeth and nowhere to sleep. Child. Angela says she's standing on her size 12s by herself. She ain't got a lap dog. Nobody. Kelli said, yeah, on them 2 inches. Angela said, your money 2 inches. Kelli, just stop, because they eating you up at every breath. They eating you up at every breath, my love. And then Kelli starts hollering how Angela's car is a 2012 Range Rover. Yuck. Yuck. And she was like, girl, that car last year was a 2020 Range Rover. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And Andy starts yelling, this has to stop. You guys, we can't get anywhere. I have dinner reservations. This has to stop. And Kelli starts yelling at Andy to make Angela stop. She won't stop. Andy, make her stop. He said, you won't either. The way she... As yappy as y'all say Angela is being, it's literally equal with Kelli. She's doing just as much, if not more, yapping. It's just Angela's voice a little bit deeper. So maybe it's commanding the attention a little bit. Portia, get your naked models. Cynthia said, well, hold on now. Don't do me. Andy asks about why she let this man pay $70,000 for her some new teeth if she got all these bills to pay. Why you ain't cut no side deal? Who says I didn't cut a side deal with the dentist, okay? I believe she did because they said she was on the flyers, okay? Maybe he was like, how much it costs to get your teeth fixed? And she was like, give me 70. Maybe she was like, give me 70. That's what it sounded like. And she got that 70 in her account or however they do this. And then she went over to that dentist like, so what kind of deal can I get? And they was like, give me 20. And she was like, here go 20. And then went and bought those ridiculous ass fashions with the rest of the money. Those ridiculous fashions. Talking about some $8,500 a month on those clothes. On those clothes. They get to Cynthia and Shamia and their whole fight back and forth about the dirty Dallas room. I honestly forgot about that. That's why Cynthia started not seeing it for Shamia, because she got tired of her ass complaining on that trip. Totally forgot about that. Especially since Shamia called a meeting right while they were getting ready for Cynthia's gala and they were late for the gala. Yeah, I wouldn't see it for Shamia's ass either. I don't blame Cynthia not one bit. I completely forgot about that. I thought Cynthia was just, lapdogging it. But no, Cynthia has every right to be annoyed with Shamia's self-centered, lack of awareness having ass. Gosh. So Shamia and the whole surrogate thing. Now this I did feel for Shamia. The surrogate didn't make it out the first trimester, and that was her last embryo. She says Gerald was not putting the pressure on her. She was putting the pressure on herself. Feel for Shamia. She don't have no more embryos, so she's kind of stuck in a place where she went through a lot getting the last set of embryos, so she don't know if she want to go through that again. But donor eggs is probably a very scary thing. Donor eggs, and then somebody else will be carrying the baby on top of that. It's just so many levels of what could happen, because we're looking at this case. What's the lady? Mackenzie Wright or Mackenzie West? Little baby Gabriel. We're seeing this case of little baby Gabriel where the surrogate decided she wasn't going to go to the baby chop shop, even though that was in the contract if the baby had major defects. Now this baby is here. The parents probably got to pay for all of these surgeries and things where the baby doesn't have a good quality of life, even if the baby does make it through the surgeries. I think the baby has been put in the ICU at this point. It's a whole lot going on. So with this going on, I can see Shamia being like, I am at my wit's end. Ain't nothing I can do if this is what's staring me in the face with surrogacy, and I've already had all these failed attempts, and now I'm gonna have to get somebody to carry. Poor Shamia. I pray for her and her family structure. I know I make a lot of jokes about, if she can't give him that son, she might have to scoot over for a second wife. I don't want that to be true for her. It's just jokes for me. I don't really wish ill or wish, what people don't want on their lives. But prayers for Shamia and her family structure. Okay, so it was a little cut scene. They having lunch. They backstage or whatever. Kelli is sitting there with Jarvis, and she's like, I wonder why Angela got a problem. He says, maybe she heard about you trying to sizzle with Portia, and she won't in on it too. I said, baby, even if this is talk of you being like, that bitch really said I was trying to sizzle her. I ain't trying to sizzle her. And you just making fun of that, for you to say that with a camera in your face, it's giving a little truth to every joke. And if Kelli could taste that peach, good Lord. Angela's over there like, she needs to leave my husband alone. Charles is over it too. He's tired of these females with men's names in their mouth. Even though he's disrespectful as hell, old grumpy man talking about some females instead of women. He ain't wrong. Leave people's husband alone, especially if you ain't got no husband to come at. Leave people's husband alone, because when that husband come at your neck about something, we don't want to hear nothing. We don't want to hear it. Charles said, it's okay. We'll see her running around the Hawks game. Say what you want about Charles, but he is always there physically and financially when Angela needs him. Okay? Grumpy old man for sure. Doesn't quite act like he loves her, even though we can tell he does. Seems to be quite the cheater back in the day. Hopefully not anymore, but hey, he shows up with paycheck in hand, okay? They talk about Amari saying that Angela was right about marriage being hard. She lets them know that Amari came out when she was 12. Angela don't feel no type of way about it. They went and got cookies. It's never been that. The girl, the wife used to live with her. She loves her. It ain't never been a thing of her not wanting the daughter not to be gay. The problem is the daughter's wife's family doesn't accept Amari. And if the mom comes into town, Amari has to leave the house. Amari has to leave the house. Yeah, I'd be real mad if you marry someone into a family that don't respect you as a human being as well. I would be real mad that that's what you're subjecting yourself to, especially at such a young age. Even though I think it's weird when people plan their children's whole lives out, I would be upset about that as well. So they asked Portia her feelings on it because she, newly gay and all. Kelli is a fucking gnat to Queen Peach Portia, okay? She is a gnat to that Peach girl. How you asking her? She only been gay for 2 weeks. Oh, she a U-Haul lesbian. Oh, did Angela get you coming out cookies? Like, a fucking heckler. Like, oh my God. And y'all don't think that Kelli is just as bad as Angela? See? This is when people be using the C word, okay? Y'all being sealerist. Y'all being sealerist. Even though they only like one shade apart, y'all are being sealerist. Because Angela's voice is deeper and she's bigger. So y'all's being womanish. Y'all being feminine in this. She gotta be all dainty. She Portia's taking it in stride. She's laughing. She's just like, yep, real new. I am a U-Haul lesbian. Yep, yep, all of that, yep. And so Angela and Cynthia both bond on having gay daughters. It was the way Cynthia was just saying gay that just had me cracking up. Cynthia says that no matter who her daughter chooses to marry, she just hopes that she never feels like she has to do it in private and hide that from her. I said that's fair. They asked Angela, so why didn't you want her to marry? That's what Andy said. She was like, she was too young. What do you mean? I had her whole life planned out. She went to the best schools, did this and that. She wasn't supposed to get married this young. I said, not you got a whole life planned out. But I get what she mean though. Shamia's fighting everyone in the group package, okay? Pinky is like she's usually the one that brightens up everyone's day if they're having a bad day. But now she's the one that's under a cloud. I can't wait for her to get up under this cloud, from up under this cloud. Shamia said, that's the cloud, and points to the other couch. Y'all, I think this cemented my dislike for Shamia. I think this cemented my dislike for Shamia because it's so disingenuous to point out the other couch as the source of your unhappiness when you're dealing with something as huge as grieving the loss of your embryo. You had a baby that you had everything riding on and you lost that, and you don't want to see that as a source of your unhappiness. All of your unhappiness comes from these ladies. And she said that throughout the season a few times too. Like Cynthia was like, girl, are you talking to somebody? Are you seeing somebody? I ain't got time for therapy. When it came to getting therapy for the surrogate situation, you ain't got time for therapy. But when it comes to your relationships in this group got me in therapy. I don't like it. It's so disingenuous. It's so, you could just tell she's trying to make somebody look and feel bad. The fact that you don't want to acknowledge that as being a source of your unhappiness because you want to pile it on thick with them. Bye, Shamia. Bye. So Andy asks Drew, why did she pretend? Andy asked Drew, why did she pretend like Terry got that horse over there at the party? She said, pretend? Why would you say I pretend? I ain't know nothing about that horse. I don't know that man. And I believe Drew on this one because she don't know that man. That man popped up on the scene because Pinky invited him to a party to be Drew's date. They got there, looks like they exchanged numbers at most, and probably didn't even exchange. Clearly he exchanged numbers with Walter, with the assistant slash hairdresser. They exchanged information because Walter had to contact to invite him. Walter knew all the information of Drew gonna be. Walter knew all the information of what she was gonna be. It makes perfect sense. I don't think Drew lied about this. Drew can lie about a lot now. Drew can fib about a lot, but I don't think this is one of the things that she lied about. I really don't. What's next? Oh, they asked Shamia about they asked me if Drew ever paid for the HOA fees, the $2,200. She said no, she never paid her back. She never paid her back. She just wanted an apology. Drew said, girl, I will definitely apologize because I share in the frustration of what to do with that horse. I was mortified. I was humiliated. Girl, I ain't know what to do. I was embarrassed. Okay? I get it. And Shamia is like, girl, I don't want your money. I just want an apology. Girl, you never asked for an apology. You smacked that daggone paper down like the big joker trying to embarrass her at a party just for funsies. Like, you didn't even ask for an apology. Okay? So it was weird. Shamia, so many times throughout this reunion, Shamia makes a claim and they roll that beautiful bean footage and it's just false. Like, she's completely lying. It's one point where Angela's like, I told you about this man. I asked you if you knew him. Girl, I don't know that man. You ain't never asked me about him. They roll right to that clip where Angela asked and showed the picture and all of that. Now, granted, Shamia probably don't know that man. Shamia works for an arena. She probably takes pictures with fans all day. But it's the fact that Shamia likes to conveniently forget so many things, okay? She claims that she never told Kelli anything about Portia. Portia says, that's a lie. I never talk about Portia. The whole sofa's like, that's not true. Then Shamia's like, I have proof that Portia didn't want me to be in this friend group. And then she hands over this little booklet of text messages. And Andy, we see the text messages and it's like, hey girl, sorry that you gotta go against me. That sucks. But you better be your ass there. Let's go, girl. See you at such and such at 7. Shamia, that makes you look stupid because that's giving Portia, even if Portia initially didn't want you on the show, at this point of this text message, Portia is perfectly fine with you coming on the show and she already knows that they want you to go against her and she's still fine with that. Okay, girl, we in these text messages kicking, but we gonna be fighting at the party. All right, girl, see you later, bye. Shamia, this is making you look petty. And then people pointed out, I said, y'all are some detectives because I didn't even pay that much attention to it. People are pointing out on the screenshot, it says today. So Shamia screenshotted that text message the day it happened and saved it all these time later, whether it's be last year or whatever, 2 years ago, you saved it for a moment. So pathetic. I'm sorry. That is just so pathetic. Portia is pissed because they won't stop talking about PJ and Mama Diane. And I get it because don't talk about my mama and my child if you talking about we some hoes from generation to generation. So you preemptively calling my child like up and stuck for Shamia. It would be so up and stuck for Shamia. Andy and Shamia are being very disrespectful, continuing to have this conversation. People are feeling like Portia is doing too much and she's being rude to Andy because she's trying to stop this conversation. But that is a very legitimate boundary. That is an extremely legitimate boundary. Regardless of how y'all feel about Mama Diane, she don't get on this TV talking bad about Shamia. Y'all try to run with that beware the dog that brings you the bone. She wasn't calling that girl no dog. And if that's the only instance of you got that the Shamia, the Mama Diane is talking bad about anybody on her, what are we talking about? So yeah, I wasn't mad at Portia for doing that. Some people felt like she was doing too much, trying to pull rank, but like I said, that is a very legitimate boundary when this girl done called my mama a slut from the 90s, okay? Talking about my mama tried to sleep with your daddy. Girl, Portia has grown because she has beat people up for much less. For much less. Portia says that after the reunion last year, she sat back and just kind of absorbed everything and calmed on down. She wasn't necessarily closed off to Shamea, but she absolutely felt a way still. She said, let me just stay indifferent until I feel something again. And I can believe that about Porsha. Porsha, say what you want about Porsha. She's very in touch with how she feels, and she's going to let you know. And that's why she can be a bad person to tear over. You don't have to guess with Porsha. She's going to tell you like it is. Good, bad, or indifferent. She's going to let you know how she feels. So if Porsha really wanted Shamea off the show, it would have been more talked about that Porsha wanted Shamea off the show. Porsha never iced Shamea out. Porsha invited her to the gift, to her event. Porsha may not have had direct conversation with her, but would you? Would you? So, yeah. Porsha said she stayed indifferent until she feels something again. And I can believe that because that's what we saw. We didn't see people talking like, yeah, I'm going to invite Shamea. She said, you going to invite Shamea? We ain't see none of that. Shamea going to be there? So, yeah. That's how I feel. She said, I see her looking at me with those endearing eyes. I'm not evil. I was still open. Shamea and Cynthia end up kind of going back and forth. And, oh, are we going to be cool? We're going to be cool. Da, da, da. Shamea gets up and hugs everybody over there on the couch. And then we end out where everybody's just kind of giving their words, how they feel about the season. Porsha's like, listen, as crazy as this season was, this was fun. I had fun. And she does her little, hello, everybody. I am Head Peach in charge. And let me close this thing on out for you. Yes, Porsha Williams, formerly Stewart, formerly Guabadi, okay? You know? So this season was everything. It was everything we needed it to be for a semi-reboot, okay? This team, we got the sauce. We got what we need in this sauce right here. And Andy's like, yeah, because, you know, I had fun today like I used to have fun in the day. And I will admit, it was back to lighter shade, okay? Marlo coming on really tanked Real Housewives for me. I'm not gonna lie. Nene leaving, of course, for sure. Nene leaving. Nene going through Greg's cancer on TV and having to deal with that and navigate this group was the first major decline. And then Marlo coming on was the next major decline. And this is the first type of little, oh, okay, we got a little something here since. So I'm happy. We're happy. Everybody's coming back next season. Andy already said it. Porsha already said it. We'll see everybody back, child. I hope Shamea brings the energy that she had for that girl in their radio station interview. If Shamea comes back with that energy for people and she stopped, playing all meek and mild and victim and apologizing with them and then being a gangster away from them, be like you was in Shorty Face the whole next season. Lean into it, girl. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how y'all felt about this season. I would give this season a B, a good B. Yep, what's that, like an 87? I give it an 87 or 88. I think it was pretty good. We had light moments when nobody's talking about, you didn't send flowers when my nephew died because he had died at your restaurant. We ain't have to deal with all of that. It was some craziness with Angela always putting all these bodies on Shamea, but past that, most of the shade was light, fun shade, little silly stuff, stupid stuff here. Stuff we can come back from, except for Shamea. Bye.